Hello and welcome to episode 10 of Chasing the Finish. 10 episodes, as if we've made it this far. I say that every week, but I am stumped that we've not been cancelled. We're still going. We were close last week, little bit of a slip of the tongue. So anyone that listens through podcasting and not on YouTube, I apologise on behalf of Ben. We did remove it from YouTube though. A fraudulent slip of the tongue, I think it's best to say.
Something like that.
But yes, 10 episodes. We're here the week after. We've just recorded the episode for next week. So it's all very confusing for me. But nonetheless, we carry on. And it's the first one since Jake's first ever 5K race. He's got his medal on. I've got mine. We're going to talk about it tonight. Let's come to you first, Ben, because you joked a minute ago before I hit record. You're like, well, I'll just sit here and you two talk. But we are going to involve you, mate. Don't worry. I'm not going to leave you out. You were brilliant on Sunday. We'll get into that. We really will. But how are things with yourself? You've been on a run tonight down the old canals.
Sweltering.
Man who swore to hate the canals. You went tonight.
No. I've been doing that a lot recently. I say, like, running with headphones, running by the canal. Perhaps I'm just changing. I'm growing as a runner. I'm becoming one of you lot. That's what I'm becoming.
You're becoming the man, the very man you swore to destroy.
Yeah, that is
I think I've got that quote wrong.
I feel like you have.
Obi-Wan said it much cleaner and better than me.
Well,
yes.
Yeah. Well, you know, it's growth. That's what it is. That's what I'm putting it down to. It's growth. You've got to try these things. I've got to see what the hype's about. I don't want to run by a canal again. Simple as. I did not enjoy it.
So you are telling me that you're not happy to do the big canal run again next week? Next week? Next year, sorry. We're not penciling it for next week.
You sprung that on. No. Jake can go in my place. Volunteer as tribute. That's what we'll do. You got to get it. It's an experience, Jake. That's what it is. It's an experience.
I must, before we continue, I must apologise. You'll see me looking to my left, probably the right, as you look at me. We are recording when Watford are playing. It is only the Little Cup. We are already 1-0 down in 10 minutes. So you probably won't see me looking to the side that much more, to be honest. I think that probably sets the tone for the night. But yeah, never mind, eh? Start as you mean to go on. But yes, all good then, Ben, yeah? All good?
Yeah. I just feel naked at the minute. I mean, what's around your neck, Mark? What's around your neck? Come on. Let's get into it. Come on.
Medal.
Just another
little medal there. No. Before we get into it, let's come to Jake. How are you, Jake?
Yeah, I'm good. I wanted to go out yesterday. Didn't bother. It's too hot. Couldn't be bothered. I feel like I might go out after this, depending on what time we finish. If it's warm, if it cools down, see what happens. But I'm definitely going to try and get 2 more runs in before go off to Paris Sunday. But other than that, I'm decent. Yeah, good.
Good stuff. Well, I have to ask because on Sunday, as hopefully you guys have seen on our YouTube, on our TikTok, all 3 of us were at the Solihull half marathon and 5K, the run through event. And Jake, you took part in your first official 5K race. And I know obviously we did the interviews afterwards and whatnot, but I think it's best to just touch over it again. The interviews were very raw, you know, especially for myself. A lot of what come out did not make sense because my head was just... So, yeah, we'll go through it again now that we've had time to sort of reflect on things. I'll ask you first, how did you find the course? Because when I did this one 2 years ago, I did the 10K and the 5K just didn't exist. It was a 10K and the half marathon. But I think it threw a few people off because I would have thought you'd have started at the start line at the half marathons did, but you didn't. You started in Bruton Park, so you did have to endure that terrible hill by Whitney Manor, though, which I had to endure as well. But yeah, how did you find the course, first of all?
Yeah, it was a bit of a shock that we weren't going from the same spot as yourselves. But nevertheless, I did enjoy it. It was I couldn't believe how many even small hills there was, and that obviously the big hill there was in Solihull. And just when you thought right, I'm coming to the end, I'm now in Bruton Park on the way back, I'd go up the little cut through. No, they send you back round, and then you have to go up new road, is it? And there's still a hill there, but all in all, I'm a bit annoyed that they got rid of the 10K because I think I'd have been okay. And because after the 5K, I was like, because it was warm. I can only imagine how you felt. But other than that, I felt fine too fair. Like I was in a mindset, like I said to Tan when we was in the pub after, I was like, I'm happy to do a run after tonight. Got back and I was just like, nah, no chance, tired.
That was crazy, man.
Yeah, I was gonna do like a 2-3K just to get it in.
He's a machine these days. Can't be stopped.
Come on. Yeah, but other than that, I really enjoyed it. I thought when we went through the college, went round, I just kept going. There was a lad who was in a West Brom top who kind of kept up with, but he kept stopping, so I kept overtaking, and he kept bursting past. I was like, I'll keep going. And then I spotted the camera. I thought, yeah, fine. And then I forgot where the camera was, and the pictures are just not flattering at all. I look like I'm going through a midlife crisis in the one. And then obviously I jogged down the hill. I was like, I'm going to keep going because obviously I can pick up some time here. And then I was like, if I can just get pushed to get back up the hill, I'll walk when I go. I pushed straight through it, got up the hill, and my legs were just like wobbly. I was like, I should have just paced myself a bit more, but I kind of just kept pushing through. I don't, like you said, once you're in when it is an event, it's like people dotted around on the drives and they're just like, come on, he pushes you through, and he gives you that extra bit of boost. And to top it all off, I got a PB. So all in all, it was a really good day.
Well, I was going to ask that. I mean, firstly, I obviously wasn't there for the start of the start of your run, but when I ran through Bruton Park, there was quite a few people still there, and obviously the event village is there. Was there many people at the start line, and how did you find that sort of first race experience? Because for me, the support basically carried me over that start line and over the finish line, because without them, I wouldn't have done anywhere near as well. So how did you find the masses of people, and were there more people than you expected as well?
Yeah, I think just when we walked in before it all started, I couldn't believe how many people there was. Mm-hmm. I think there was more people there than there is on the average at St Andrews, if I'm honest. But but no, like obviously we waited to see yourself and Stevens run past, so that was nice. Extra bit of pushing for you both, and then we started over a bit further. Like I think it's where we would usually start for the park run.
Right. Yeah.
But like obviously at the flags, and I was looking to see where, because I was thinking it'll be like a 34 because that's my usual time, and all I seen was 32 and a half. I was like, this is just not boding well. I'm gonna have to run. I'm gonna have to sprint. And then I saw 35, so I went after the 35s, and as soon as I went off, I kind of just went past them because I knew I could, like the first K, 2K, I can pick up the speed and go a bit quicker, and then I start to slow, but I kind of maintained the speed I wanted to go at, which I'm happy with. So I can feel in myself that I'm getting quicker. It's just about my stamina, doing it for longer. So maybe I do it a bit slow at the start, so then I can run for like 3-4K and then have a break. So it's obviously a slow process, and I am getting there. I just need to be a bit more consistent with it. But all in all, really enjoyed it. And everyone was like, the support was cracking. Really enjoyed it. And I can't wait for it.
Yeah, the support was top tier. It really was. Even, for someone like me, they were packing the course away when our bloody finished. And the support, like I say, I wouldn't have been able to get over that finish line if it weren't for the support. So But overall, you're happy with your performance. Obviously, you say you got a PB. You're coming away from that feeling proud, yeah?
Oh yeah, major. I think even if I didn't get a PB, like I said, I don't even know who I said it to. I was like, I'm not aiming to get a personal best here. I'm just aiming to get it done, and in a somewhat respectable time. And then like I think as I was coming back through the college, back on myself, I had a look at my Strava. I saw the time. I was like, right, if I push it a bit more now, I can potentially get a PB.
Mm-hmm.
And then in my head, I was like, if we go up this little straight here, I'm getting under 30. And then he went, you've got to turn right now. So no PB. And then I got up to the road and I bumped into a lad who I started speaking to at the start before we started running. And he was walking. I was like, come on, mate, we'll last push. And the road was longer than I thought. So I come around the bend. I was like, I'm ready to stop now. But yeah, as soon as you see people and they're cheering you, it's just the extra boost to sprint through it and get it done. But no, thoroughly enjoyed it.
So did the race, the 5K finish in the park as well, or did you finish at the finish line?
No, it finished at the finish line. It finished outside the mountains. So that was nice.
High Street.
Yeah. That was nice to be fair. But like speaking to Tan and Beck, and they were like, it's a good job you come in, because everyone's like the first place half marathon wasn't far behind. I was like, if he pips me, and I passed, and then about I think 5-10 minutes later, it's just come flying through. I was like, Jesus Christ! And I can't even remember his time, but he done it in some time. I think it was like an hour 10, weren't it, or something like that.
I did actually have a look at that, but I can't remember. I saw him because there's a part in the half marathon where you pass each other. I'm going this way, they're coming this way.
Yeah.
And I hadn't even got to... I tell you where I got to. I want to say it was the 5K mark. And the guy on the bike was coming past the other way. And he was like, just so you know, the fast runner's just round the corner. And I thought, I've not even got to the 5K mark. And he's like, you know what I mean? But yeah, I've been in that position before where you're finishing an event and someone from the bigger event like passes you. I remember at the Watford 10K in February, the half marathon runners, I did the 10K, and the half marathon runners, you meet. So I come over the bridge after doing like 4 laps of my own, and I come over the bridge and they meet you at the bridge, and we all then run up and do the last loop together.
Yeah.
And I remember people on the sideline, I didn't have anyone there to support me, and I remember people on the sideline saying, what does green mean on the running number? Because I think for Sunday 5K people had red numbers, if I'm not mistaken, and then a half marathon it was just white. So there were people on the sideline saying, how come he's got a different colour? And it's like a little bit embarrassing because it's like, oh, he's a 10K runner, but half marathon people are finishing. So yeah, I know what you mean, but that guy that finished the half marathon first was absolutely rapid. And if I'm not mistaken, second place was nowhere to be seen. Like he had him on toast big time. So it actually ties in quite nicely because we've had a couple of questions and some of them you've already answered, so I'll just read them out anyway. But Mark Graham, a friend of the podcast, he wants to know, Jake, have you now got the bug to do other events? Obviously, you've got Napton booked in, so that's all good. And he wants to know as well, how different did you find it running like a park run? So obviously, it's same distance. Was there much of a difference between a park run and an event?
The first question, yes, I have got a bug. This afternoon when I was on my way up to London, I was scrolling about net runs. So like I found like 4 or 5 that I'm very much interested in. So one of them
you got them to hand? You sent them in the group?
Yeah, one of them is the 9 locks, which is a canal one. So, so that's that one. That's in autumn. The next one is let me find it. The Cannonhill Chase. I said this to Ben Sunday, and that's obviously another one that I feel like it'd be hard to twist your arm to get you to do it because it's trial, even, not trial. And what was the other one? And then there was a Christmas
Chase as well.
Yeah, there's a Christmas ice water Christmas pudding dash, which is another 10k. So, yeah, and then obviously you got Drayton Manor or Alton Towers, which I think would be decent if we could get a few people to do them ones.
And Bourneville as well. In fact,
Yes,
you mentioning that Chase Water Christmas chase, whatever it's called, reminds me an event you absolutely have to do one year. Funnily enough, Ben and our mate Alex come up to support me for this last year, and I had no idea. It's only on the second lap I come round and I saw him there. It's the Lincoln Santa Run.
Yeah.
I think that would be such a laugh to do because everyone's dressed as Santa, and I think it's only something like 4.5k, and you get a little Christmas medal.
It was a sight to behold, I tell you. There was literally I can't even think 600 Santas just crammed into the whole street. Insane.
Yeah.
So obviously trying to spot you was hard as well.
Well, yeah. That was without the costume on as well. But yeah, it's yeah. You definitely will have to get us three doing that because I think that would be a good laugh. Just as I read the next question, Norwich have got 2-0 against Watford.
Mike, what was Mark's other question? Sorry.
Mark's other question was, how did you find it if you compared it to a parkrun? Because obviously it's the same distance.
Yeah.
Was there much of a difference that you found?
Not in a sense. Well, yes and no. I feel like when I was like the tank slowly emptying, there's a boost because it's as much as it's not a race and you're not planning it as like, oh, I'm doing it for time. The extra boost of like, it's like you're racing for something. You're getting like a bit of like an extra boost when you finish. You get a medal. You want to have magnets, but they're not there. But it's just been like don't get me wrong. I know I moan about the volunteers at parkrun. Some of them can be a bit like, I don't know the word without being rude, but
yeah, careful.
Yeah, they're just non-stop cheering you on. So I think going forward, I love parkrun. I do enjoy it, but I think events, I think they're just a different bit of breed, and they're a different breed. You enjoy.
I think it's one of them. No, like some events are good, some events are bad. Obviously, we saw Mike hated his trail one.
Yeah, there'll be some that I do, and I'll be like, "Yeah, this looks good," and I'll do it, and I'll be like, "I'm never doing one of them ever again."
But you've got to do them. You've got to experience them. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is, even if they are bad, you can look back and laugh, can't we, Mike?
Yeah.
That's all you can do.
Cheers for the question.
You're right there, Mike.
Yeah, no, sorry. We've gone 2-0 down, and my head's on planet Mars. So I'm trying not to let it bother me. I'm doing a running podcast.
You're not doing a great job at that.
No, I know. Hannah also said, you've already answered this, but I'll read it out anyway. She asked how your first event was. Was it as expected? And you've said that. Would you do one again? She also asks, and Ben, I'm quite intrigued to know your answer on this. And I have a valid reason for my answer, so I will get to that. Hannah said, why was Jake the only one wearing your branded tops? So Jake was the only one that ran in a Chasing the Finish top, because we've had some Chasing the Finish running tops made from the guys at Fun Prints and Embroidery up here in Lincoln. So yeah, Jake was the only one. I brought them down with me, handed them to you and Jake, and Jake wore his. You didn't wear yours when you were on the course. What? Any reason? Or
I just like how Hannah's decided to wait until the podcast to ask me this. If she wanted to know, she could have asked me to my face. The reason is it is a performance tee, right?
Ooh.
And I was in leisure mode.
Was you?
Yeah, of course I was. I had a walk. I had a 10k walk.
I feel like it might have been a run.
No, I had a 10k walk. but I don't think it was 10K. No, as I say, it's a performance tee. I'm waiting to pull it out next Saturday. Sorry. Is this? Yeah, it is this Saturday. Yeah. I'm waiting to pull it out this Saturday. So she will see it then, and I'll make sure we get a good picture. And yeah, but in the future, if I've any event, I will wear it. Okay.
There we go. Hope you're satisfied with that answer, Hannah. Myself was the old cliche: don't try anything new on race day. It fits. I just recorded next week's episode in it, so it fits. But yeah, I did not want a chance running that long and it chafing my nipples and then bleeding, and it just didn't want to risk it. So now that I've worn it around the house, I too will be wearing it this Saturday at Coventry Park Run, by the way. Let the cat out the bag early doors. We're going to be at Coventry Park Run, me, Ben, Tom Hodgson, friend of the pod. I think it's just us three, maybe Farmy as well. So maybe 4 of us this week. But yes, they shall be on show at Coventry Park Run this Saturday. So thank you for your questions. Jake, your mum actually submitted a question. That isn't an insult. I'm not having a go at you. We're not back in year 6. She wanted to know, how did you cope with the heat on Sunday? Did you wear a cap? Did you wear a cap or?
Yeah, it was it was warm. Yeah, no, I'm glad I did though, because like I took it off and I was like sweltering. I've just obviously cleared it, put it back on, but like I've ran when we were done one of the Arrow Valleys and it was warm and I didn't have one on and the sweat was going in my eyes and it was burning. So it kept the sweat under me, under there. So, but I feel like it was fine at the start, and then it got to a bit when I was going up the hill, and it just got warm. So then going through Bruton, and all the flies are out and itchy. I've been bit as well, battered with bites. So other than it weren't pleasant to run in the heat, but I can only imagine how you felt running in that heat consistently.
Well, that is what we want. That is what we want to know about. Michael, come on, tell us from start to finish, because this is what the people want to hear.
We got a long episode. Fill it out, Mike.
Yeah.
Do you know what? It's only really today, and even today, it's not fully sunk in that I've run that far. Obviously, my body was doing its very best to remind me that I'd run that far on Monday, because I was aching quite a bit. I booked the day off work. I preempted that, so that's fine. Was back into work today. Not as bad as I thought. A lot of people said second day is always the worst, but do you know what? If this is the worst of it, then I've got a flight there. Yesterday was definitely worse. But yeah, I was extremely nervous in the lead up to it. I think even on taper week, on the Tuesday, I did a run, like my last longer run. And the first 100 yards, I felt a twinge in my hamstring. And I was like, yeah, this ain't great. And then Thursday, I went out and did a 2-mile run. And it was very noticeable when I started the run. But during the run, I was absolutely fine and there was no pain. So I thought, right, don't do anything Saturday. You'd be stupid to do that. I obviously, if I've got an event on a Sunday, I don't drink or anything. I really watched what I ate that whole week as well. Made sure I didn't snack or anything. Weighed myself a week early as well. So I managed to shed a couple of pounds in the build up to it. So that was good. And yeah, just tried to prepare as best as I could, really, because Saturday we went down to the in-laws, the father-in-laws in Coventry, and I even said, look, I know it's a bit of a pain, but if we can have pasta for dinner, really tried to sort of think it out. Don't usually do that, but I thought to give myself the best chance of finishing, I need to prepare a bit and have a bit more of a strategic plan. So yeah, I woke up Sunday morning Slept okay. I was really worried about how I was going to sleep as well. You know, nothing worse than, you know, waking up on event day having not slept very well. But the adrenaline would have got me through it, to be honest. So, yeah, woke up on Sunday, did the drive over to yours, Ben, parked at yours, met you and Chris, walked into Solihull. And I think really that was my cat falling off the door, if anyone heard that. It scared the absolute jeepers out of me. I really didn't know what that was then. So, yeah, I think it was then walking to Solihull from yours, albeit it's not a long walk, it's just down the main road. Started seeing other runners going there, and I was perhaps a little bit later than I would have liked. And you know me, Ben, I have to be in there plenty of time. So I think Jake thought we were meeting at the high street at 8, but we left yours at 8. And I wanted to get to the village for 8:30. Run starts at 9. Give myself half an hour just to chill, just to soak up the atmosphere. Well, by the time we got to the event village, I went looking for my bib magnets. Couldn't find which tent it was. Then I found out which tent. Went over. There was a queue like 2 deep. This woman was writing all these details down on a clipboard, and I thought, oh, something she's ordered has obviously not come in. So I thought, oh, it won't be bib magnets. It'll be like a T-shirt or something. So I've gone up. I says, oh yeah, I'm here from a big bib magnets. Says, unfortunately, we've run out of them. So if you just pop your name and email address and contact number, we'll post them out. So I was like, okay. And I went to do it, and something in my head I was like, this isn't what I need. So I says, actually, don't worry about it. She was like, okay. I said, yeah, don't worry about it. I said, needed them for now. Like, I'm sorry, but I paid for them back when I entered the race, which was months ago. How have they run out? Like, if they're dishing them out to people on the day, like, the woman asked about an event T-shirt, the woman in front of me, and she says, oh, can I buy an event T-shirt? And the woman behind the counter says, oh, you can, but after the race, because we have to prioritise those that have pre-ordered. So the only thing I can think is they've just sold them to people willy-nilly. Run. I've got one reserved. I've paid for it. That's 10 quid down the drain now. Yeah, maybe I was a bit petty that I didn't put my details, but I ordered them bib magnets for that race there and then. So I had to make do with safety pins, which, you know, I know works. I just thought the bib magnets would be something different. But yeah, not a great start. Then I needed the toilet. You do that thing where you get nervous. You're like, oh, do I need the toilet? What do I need? Went to the toilet, and I was
How
like,
were the queues for it?
One good thing which I've noticed at events recently is, for blokes, is they put urinals in now. So you've got obviously the toilet boxes, the portaloos, but they have a space for urinals now, which makes it much quicker. So that weren't too bad. I was in and out, and I come out and I was waiting for our mate Ben Stevens, and he sort of almost looked like he was ready to like walk with the rest of them. But then we went and did went back to find you guys, and then they started walking people, because anyone that's done the Solihull run, you know that you start in the event village in Bruton Park, but then they walk you up in your waves essentially to the start line on the high street. So we started walking up, and like Jake, I was like, right, which is the last sort of pace? So it was 2.5 hours plus. And bear in mind, this whole thing, the whole time, I've really been panicking about not being able to finish. So I've done loads of run-through events, and every time you do one, they send you a race pack, which you can download. Downloaded it, and because it's me and because I overthink, I scrolled to the bottom to the FAQs, and it said there is a 3-hour cut-off to finish this event. Soon as I read that, game over, head was gone. I was like, I ain't going to finish it in 3 hours, so what they're going to do, they're going to close the high street, am I going to DNF? I was proper panicking. So bearing in mind, I was perhaps a little bit rushed, more rushed than I would have liked to have been. Completely my own doing on the event day. And then I'm obviously panicking. And then I'm seeing the last pace is 2.5 hours plus. And then there wasn't many of us 2.5 hours plus. So I was like, oh, I'm going to finish last, not going to finish. And then we get closer to the start line. And I'm sort of feeling all right. And in my head, I mean, Beck said to me, break it down. Look at it as a park run, then a 10K, and then a park run to finish. And I thought, you know what, that's probably the best thing I can do is to break it down. Mm-hmm. And the closer I got to that start line, the more it went out my head. Because I was telling myself, right, well, just do a 10K, get that done, and then you've got to do it again. So we're walking round to the start line. And I have never known energy just be zapped from my legs. Like I had to hold on to the railings because I thought I might, if I put one foot in front of the other now, I might genuinely fall over. Like my legs felt so heavy, derelict of any energy. And yeah, went over that start line. My legs felt so heavy. And I was like, if this is how it's going to be for 13 miles, I'm in big trouble. But luckily, you know, managed to run through the park. I think it was a roundabout where that roundabout is after the sixth form, that windy road. That's when I first stopped. I think it was. Or was it further around the corner? It might have been further around the corner. And that's when I first stopped. Luckily, someone else had stopped by then as well. So I thought, right, well, it's not just me. But initially, it was that mental block of what am I going to do if the cut-off's 3 hours? In my head, I was like, they're going to have packed up and I'm not going to be able to finish. And then a few murmurs on the course, oh, it's 3.5 hours. And after all that, I think the person that finished last did it in 4 hours and something. Yeah. And they still had it up. So it was all much ado about nothing, really. So it was very tough, though.
Was there a lot of talking at the back? Much conversation?
There was actually. Yes. There was something that happened, and we always talk about at parkrun. You're always like, oh, I need to come to the back one day because you get all the stories. I'm not sure what happened, but, you know, obviously they closed the roads off. Well, I think we'd just come round the corner to Knoll, and I thought, silly me for thinking this, when you approach Knoll, we approached it so you were looking at the Toby Carvery. I think it's the Wilson Arms, I can't remember.
Yeah.
Now, I thought we turned right and ran up Knoll High Street, did whatever, and then ran back down it. But no, you ran down the side of Toby Carvery, and that's when you go on your little gallivanting. You go to Eastcote, Barton, all of that. That is a bloody long way, let me tell you. Country roads, nothing around there, inclines. That's not for the weak-minded, I tell you now. It was so boring. And because I was so far back, I had one person in front of me. In fact, I must shout her out, actually. It's Beth, who we had on the podcast the other week. Her sister, Emily, who listens to this. She was just in front of me. And then there was a girl sort of not far behind me. So I was out in these country roads, just myself. No marshals, no crowds, just me and my thoughts. Don't listen to music. It was horrible. But we were coming up by Knoll Football Club, and this guy had obviously driven past the barrier that said road closed, and he was having a full-blown argument with one of the marshals, saying, all I've got to do is cross the drive up that road, the one opposite where he was, and then I'll be gone. And the marshal was having none of it. And to be honest, I think rightly so as well. I know there's not many of us. There must have been a scatter full of us. There must have been. I think one of the marshals, when I got back round, when I'd done the high street and come back, I asked one of the marshals, I says, is there many behind me? Because he was on a bike. Because he said there was a couple of lads next to me and they were running on the road. And he was like, the roads are still closed, lads. You can run on the road. And I says, is there many behind me? He says, well, there's 2 right behind you now. He says, I'd say there's about 5 or 6. Because that was going through my head the whole time. Is there someone behind me? When I overtook someone and I knew there was, right, is there someone behind them? Because if they overtake me, am I then last? And then I had the highway maintenance who obviously closed the roads. Where you met me, where you and Chris met me, when I was going down that road, the highway maintenance truck was in front of me, but it was going very slowly behind the person in front of me. So I thought, maybe I'm last then. Maybe he doesn't realise that I'm behind him, and maybe he thinks the person in front of me is last, and he's slowly going to follow him all the way and then take the road signs away. Honestly, this was all going on in my head. So I was trying to not be too negative and trying to just crack on. So, yeah, it was really tough. The toughest bit by far and away was when you turn off at Knoll and then you go through those little villages by far and away. Whilst I remember 2 people to shout out, I can't remember if it was Eastcote, Barton, whatever, 3 people to shout out actually. There was a bloke stood there with his hose spraying, and I ran under that, and oh my God, it was perfect. It was brilliant. I could have just stayed there. It's so refreshing. And it actually gave me a little boost. I caught up to Emily, and we were chatting for a bit. And then it was almost that awkward thing where I was like, right, is she expecting me to stick with her? Or, like, I didn't really know what the etiquette was. So I actually ended up going further ahead then. That genuinely gave me such a boost, and I felt a bit more refreshed. And that was coming up to mile 8, I want to say. And then there was a little care home, retirement home, and bless them, they had 3 or 4 of them come out, the residents, and they were lovely. And then coming back up to Knoll High Street, there was a woman there, loads of pint glasses full of water. So, would you like some water? I says, you are an absolute lifesaver. I says, thank you so much. This is another thing as well. They give you the water at 3 miles, 6.5, and 10 miles, and they're those little bottles. And I was taking 2 at a time. I have never drank so much water, it not settle, and then still be really thirsty. I have never been that thirsty in my life. So yeah, it was very tough.
You smashed it, mate. You absolutely killed it. We're all buzzing for you to get it done.
Yeah, it was a great moment when you come over the finish line, and everyone really was supportive. It was a lovely moment. I mean, I was holding Reg at the point as you come across the line, and he was going, Mike won. So I went, no, calm down.
Turn the standings upside down. It looks fucking brilliant for me. Pardon my language. But no, do you know what? The support was brilliant. And I didn't even know half the people were there when we finished. So Alex and Hannah turned up. My cousin and his wife turned up. My grandmother was there. Obviously, we had I think someone at one stage said the podcasting wives. So Beck was there, Tan was there, Briar was there. So there was a real good amount of people. Chris was there.
They're itching to get on, by the way. These wives of the podcast, they're itching to get on.
Well, yeah, Beck's the biggest hater. So
when I was stuck with Tan and Beck, they were all doing. He's like, "Oh, Jake's always going to message back, Mike. He's always on his phone." I was like, "Oh, can't wait to start this run."
Oh man, yeah.
Make a chat to tell us to stop messaging each other.
Well, yeah, that's, no, it was the support was unreal, and even round the corner. When you come out of Bruton Park, out of the gates, back onto the road where you finish round the corner, I'd come round there, and by then I was walking a lot of it. I couldn't. I mean, you knew, I was really struggling to run and get any sort of rhythm, and it almost was like because I was that late, it was almost like the people in the park, there were still people there, but I don't think they realised that I was still doing the event. This is what I thought in my head. So, like, I'm coming around the corner and then I see Jake, and I'm like, I said to him, I says, my legs have gone, like, I'm just aching. And then I saw my cousin's wife, and then I said to Jake, I says, do you know what, sod it, let's just do it. So I went round the corner, and that's where you see the finish line. And I have no idea whatsoever of where that energy come from. And
it was incredible.
I was managing to get a little bit more movement, and then I just thought, sorry, I'm just going to go for it. And I say it's sprint finish. It was a sprint finish for me. And the support coming over the line was fantastic, because I must have a little bit more of a moment run through. And I sort of get it, because they're maybe under pressure to open the roads again. But I didn't like how they were practically packing away the finish line as I was trying to finish. I totally understand time restraint, everything, but it just didn't seem right. The trucks were in the road, sweeping up all the water bottles. There were cars, like, literally driving next to me. And yeah, it tarnished it a bit, but crossing it was brilliant. I had to sort of lean on the rails a bit, and then to come round and see everyone there, it was fantastic. The amount of people that come up and said well done was absolutely fantastic. So yeah, it was a once in a lifetime experience. I think it'll be I've obviously got another half marathon to do in October, but I don't think anything will beat that first time finishing. Like finishing your first half marathon. I mean, Mark also asked one of the questions was, how did the jelly babies work out as fuel? Horrible. I just weren't settling. I ate a couple, and I was like, do I eat them now? I was worried, like, do I refuel too early? This is a problem. So much was going on up here, and I think I ate a couple around about mile 7, and they just didn't settle very well at all. And I left the rest in my bag. Finished the rest of them off earlier when I got back from work. So
I said this though, didn't I? I said as the distance increases, it does get trickier, because when nutrition gets involved, you've got to figure out what's right for you, what settles with your stomach, how much you've got to take. There's so much that goes into it, and I think it does start at, I'd say, a half marathon. I mean, definitely for a 10K, you could probably have a gel before, and you may be all right. But yeah, as soon as the distance increases, you've got to start, putting that energy back in your body, however you can. So as I say, it's something that you learn from. Look at a similar situation with myself. You try something, a lot of stuff didn't work for me, but that's when you look now, like, try other things. But it's been important that you train with them, Mike, which is what we did say beforehand. You chose to ignore it.
I don't know if I gave myself enough time, because like we've said time and time again, you don't try anything new on race day. That's absolutely fine. But is it even wise to try it 2-3 weeks before race day?
Of course.
I mean, look, Hannah also asked me if I do one again. I have got one, the Lincoln one in October, at the start of October. She said, would you do anything different? I mean, bloody hell, there's a lot of things I'd do different. I'd bloody train properly for once. But I think the nutrition side is definitely something I'd need to look into more, because, like I said, I was drinking water and it just wasn't touching the sides whatsoever. And the nutrition side, keeping hydrated, I need to do better there, because who knows, if I was maybe feeling a bit more hydrated, would I have not had the crash out that I did? I definitely, I know this is maybe strictly just for marathons, but I definitely hit the wall. That what they're saying in the run as well, the wall. I definitely hit that, and it was horrible. Like, when I met you guys, I think we're at mile 10, and I thought, I don't know how I'm going to do this. I'm going to have to crawl over the line, and yeah, there were just so many thoughts sort of going around in my head. So, but I did it, like I say, it's not fully sunk in yet. Sometimes after my 10K runs, I'll look back on the Strava map and I'll have a look and sort of look at it and think, wow, that's quite a long way. I haven't done that with the half marathon map yet. And I'm going to get the medal. I think I'm going to get the medal framed. I think I'm going to purchase an event T-shirt, get that framed with it, and get like a little plaque engraved for it.
Nice,
So
nice.
for my first ever half, but yeah, delighted to get it done. Sorry,
Onwards and upwards now.
Well, this is it. Like I say, I've got one 5th of October. I've got another event in 2 weeks, 10K. We've got Napton. So it's making that jump. Ben Stevens made a really good point, and I really hope that I get there. He said for him now it's about getting quicker because he's got to these distances where he's comfortable. Yeah. I want to get to that stage where I'm comfortable with booking half marathons. If I was to book a half marathon now, it'd be a huge thing. Whereas if I book a 10K, it's it's good, get a bit of bling, but that's almost what I'm comfortable in quotation marks. But I use the term very loosely. But I am more comfortable at just going ahead and booking a 10K. Whereas half marathon, I really do want to make that step up next. So yeah, let's see how the one in Lincoln goes. I was reliably informed when I booked it that it wasn't hilly because all of the running is already uphill in Lincoln. Well, Beck then tells me the other day, oh, by the way, I think there is a bit of a hill in the Lincoln one. And I thought, brilliant. But I've had a look at the elevation gain and it's nowhere near as bad as Solihull. And as I said, if I can do Solihull and use that as my marker, then surely that is a good barometer to start at. Because if you can face those hills and everything else, then you should be cushy with the rest. So, yeah, glad to get it done. And it's nice as well that the lanyard says half marathon on it. When you finish last and when you're so close to the end, you usually just get dobbed in with they're rooting around at the bottom of the bag to find your medals, as we found out at Wolverhampton. But I'm glad that I actually got one that said half marathon on the lanyard. Although another bit of a moan, sorry, run through. I hope they probably don't watch this anyway. The medal, when I did it 2 years ago, and this backs up the point I've just made, I did the 10K, and underneath the medal, it said run Solihull, then there was a little bit 5K and 10K. I did the 10K, just put 10K. On this medal, it doesn't mention anything about the half marathon. I know the lanyard does, but the medal itself doesn't. And also, if anyone can tell me, racking my brain, what the bloody hell is that building?
Is it Mason?
That church, I think, is the one next to the Masons.
I thought it was Mason.
See, someone else said that, but why was it red?
Mason, so my only logic was like, that's got to be Mason's, ain't it? So
maybe. Well, I've drunk in there long enough. About time I got a medal for it. But yeah, no, a brilliant experience. At the time, it wasn't, but having reflected on it, a brilliant experience. But I've got to give a big shout out to you and Chris Ben, really, for capturing the content, doing the interviews. It's gone down superbly. Like I've said before on podcasts, I hate dragging along Beck because it must be so boring standing there waiting, especially for a half marathon, knowing it was going to be over 3 hours. But to give you credit, I know Jake did his run and he was, done in a good time. So that maybe broke it up a little bit. But to see you guys come out as far as you did, saw you on mile 9 and then walk the rest in with me, and I say jogged, but it was a very, very slow jog. Mark also, he asked 3 questions. The last one was, Ben, did you feel like you were missing out seeing Mike and Jake running and getting their bling, or did you just enjoy being the support?
No, I really enjoyed being supporter for once. I mean, it's people are always very supportive when I run. It's nice to see the other side of it, and obviously relax and, well, I say relax, but it was nice to see some of the course and see what you're going through mentally from like the outside, and obviously get them raw interviews where, you know, they're just on the fly and just, as I say, getting them raw reactions. But no, I really enjoyed it. It's nice to have a little bit of a rest for once. And yeah, I did have a thought as the 5K was coming across the first finish. I thought, oh, do I give it a go next year, the 5K? Try and
I don't think they'll do a 5K next year. I think they'll reopen the 10.
It's one of them. But I you know, I'm sticking on I'm not doing any run through events. They've done it for me.
So next year, like, what will you be signing up to at Solihull?
Next year, I did a. Do you know what though? As much as I love Solihull and I love the event, I just don't know if I'll see how I'm going. If I'm still running as regular by then, 100% I'll do it, because I'd love to have a stab at that when I'm feeling fitter.
Yeah.
Just like overcoming those obstacles that I wasn't able to this time, I'd just feel a million times better. So yeah, next year, hopefully sign up to the half marathon again, and hopefully it's water off a duck's back by then, isn't it? So
yeah, man.
And you, Jake, next year?
I think I don't know. Like, obviously, I haven't done I've run 10K and I've run a 7.5K. That's the longest I've run. Mm-hmm. After Napton, I'm hoping then I got the bug for 10s, and the 5Ks will just be park runs. So
10K is a nice distance. I like it. Yeah. It's just enough, I think.
I've said before, I didn't think I'd ever be in a situation where I'd do a 10K and the back 5 was easier than the first 5. I didn't think it would ever happen. But I think it's because I had pain in the first 5. By the second 5, that pain's already there, and I'm just numb to it. So
yeah, I was going to say, you're just numb. That's what it is. Like, like I've done a run today, my legs were killing, but it didn't take. It took. I think it was around 6K. I started to feel a bit better. So Jesus. So no, I get that.
Well, no, it was brilliant to have you there. And like I say, the interviews, if you guys haven't seen it, it's on our YouTube page. It's on our TikTok as well. Ben was the interviewer. Chris was the one behind the camera. And yeah, we got some brilliant footage. So we're hoping to do that more regularly going forward. Hopefully at park runs. Like I say, you know, any event where more than 2 of us are there, we're hoping to do that. So yeah, just a couple of shout outs in terms of other people that did the event that we know. Ben Stevens, friend of the podcast, he very slyly and very modestly I don't know if that's a word, he was very modest in his interview afterwards, Ben, because he skirted over the fact, I know he wanted sub 2 hours, but he got a PB.
Yeah.
Because his previous PB was 2:13 or 2:14. He got a PB of 2 hours, 7 minutes and 17 seconds. So an incredible achievement. I know he was really gunning for a sub 2, but to do a PB on that course of all courses as well. I mean, I've not ran Leamington and Warwick that he's done, but can't be any harder than Solihull. So fair play to him. Big shout out to Beth, who we had on the other week. Her first ever half marathon as well. And did fantastically, and a brilliant time as well of 3 hours and 17 seconds for your first half marathon. Because I know she was bricking it. Because when we were walking to the start line, Beth 2 placed herself at the 2.5 plus. And we're walking there, and I think she was maybe feeling a bit anxious and a bit nervous. And yeah, she absolutely smashed it. And, you know, she was ahead of me for a long time. I had vision of her, I could see her. And then after a while, she kept a really good pace. And yeah, finished brilliant time. You know, to be 18 seconds off coming in the 2 hour category is brilliant. So well done to Beth. I know, Jake, you had a few issues with. I feel well bad. I really hope no one from Run Through listens to this, but I know you had a few issues with a few things as well, didn't you, Jake, on maybe things they could have done a little bit better.
Yeah, I didn't like the fact that, like, I know we're probably going over it. Like, when I came to see where you, like, try and meet you halfway, or meet you way back, I thought it was just horrible. Like, if you're on your final stretch, you want to get it done. You don't want to be like, oh, I feel like a bit of a, I suppose, because I know I'd feel like how I'd feel like people are trying to drive and you 1 o'clock soon approaching. Like, in that sense, you just know there's obviously going to be a bit other runners that are going to be a bit slower. Just 2 o'clock, it's not even that bad. Like, I know, like, traffic management costs and that can be pricey, but the jump from 1 o'clock for another hour, it's not stupid. So it's just the fact that I didn't like how I've come to you and there's cars turning and I'm like, I just thought it was out of order and disgusting. And you got people moving all the barriers. You're like, there's still people running this. Like, have a bit of courtesy. And even Stevens was like, I had a look where he was on the tracker, and I was like, bloody hell, he's close here. And then I realised Ben had your bloody vest.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
There were moving boxes where there was still food and the little snacks they had, and they were moving tables. And I'm like, there's still people running this. It's bang out of order. I hope they know there's still people out there, which I'm sure they did. But there was the volunteers was like packing up, putting the jackets on. It wound me up a little bit because I was like, you pay all this money, and you pay 30, 40 quid. You went and got the magnets. You wanted the top. Didn't have the magnets, which surely you'd put them on reserve if people have pre-ordered them. Then you come to the end of the run where you're like, right, final stretch, and you got people just packing up. Like, I understand you're volunteering, I understand, but if you're there, you're due to pack up at 1. Don't pack up until 1 o'clock. If you go over, you go over. The amount of money of people is just a joke. And
yeah, well, you didn't get any of the free stuff, did you, Mark?
To be fair, I turned it down. I was only interested in the medal and a bottle of water. I don't usually have the other stuff, but I think just to piggyback on what Jake said, well, 2 things really. Ben, you saw it when you met me on mile 9. How many cars drove past us?
Oh, it's a joke, absolute joke.
And then further, round the corner before I met Ben, I've got a marshal on a bike saying the roads are still closed, carry on. And listen, I totally get, they're under massive restraint, but these people have waited long enough. Surely waiting an extra hour ain't going to kill them. And like Jake said, they were packing stuff away. When I was running literally that home stretch to the finish line, there were people where the railings were so you could, like, to funnel in. There were people taking the banners off there. And I even think with that, if someone's running, I know you've got to pack stuff away, but just stop for a minute and, like, let the person do their run. And then when they're finished, then carry on doing what you're doing. Because I finished, I think 10 minutes later, another girl finished. So in that 10 minutes, use that time to put the equipment away. Don't do it while runners are still, because it does take the shine off it a little bit. And look, we might get a few comments to say, well, you should be quicker and all this. But I just think, maybe have a bit more common sense and a bit more courtesy. So, yeah, I just wanted to get that out the way. It's only right. We talk about all the good things about events. It's only right that we equally talk about the things that annoy us as well. So,
well, I just think about what the person who come in over 4 hours, what they must have been running into.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Well, we would have been the Masons then, wouldn't we? So.
Yeah. So it's one of them. I dread to think, and I don't even want to think about it, to be honest, because it's sad. But yeah, go on, carry on.
Pick away in a sense. You're on the final bit here, and you just see people picking up the signs, picking up the banners. It's one of the ones where you're like, I just want to finish, but if I'm in that situation and you have to bite your tongue, I feel like I'd end up saying something, and it'd just be horrible, because obviously they're only doing what people have told them to do, but it still doesn't stop the fact that people are still running and want to have the same atmosphere as everyone else. Like when I got in, both sides were heaving, and then like people will come in. Obviously, I know, understand when you come in and your family, they obviously do. You start moving on, but there's still people out there clapping, pulling people through, and like I was stood with Tan, Beck, and Stevens, and we're just random clapping in, and I'm like, oh, thank you. Like people were coming in crying because obviously it was that bad or struggling. It's just little things where if you just think, if they just do, and just hold it for an extra hour, that extra step, and just going it above and beyond for it just makes so much of a difference.
I think Beck said that. I think Beck said if it had got to a stage where they pretty much packed the stuff away, and I was coming round, she would have sort of intervened and says, "Look, there's still people finishing. Can you at least hold off?" So, like you say, it would have been interesting. That person that came in over 4 hours, what sort of site they came to when they were finishing, because like I say, they were taking the railings down when I was finishing. So yeah,
well, even when you came in and like I looked and there's the lads in the trucks and then that woman who was turning the road, I'm like, there's still people running here. Look, have a bit of courtesy, man. But they're only going to do themselves out of, like, good press. Like people are going to go, I feel like it's disgusting out of they're just doing themselves in, because people will come in and people will see people who are not like these like quick runners or a bit slow like myself. Like I've only ever done 10, so if I'd done a half marathon myself, I would have been in the same difference. If not, I probably would have been slower because I've never gone past that benchmark of 10. So I'd have just ended up saying, because you'd been happy you finished, but I would have ended up saying something out of just pure anger. Because I was like my first event and you're packing everything away, you'd end up just chewing a wasp. But you just like it puts you in a mindset like I'd rather not do Solihull and maybe do another one. If that's the case, if that's how it's going to end up being. But like I said, it's them who's getting the backlash of it all now because people notice it. So.
Well, I left when you do an event, they ask for your feedback, so I left the feedback and told them whether anything gets done. I don't know. You know, maybe do they need to look at doing what London Marathon does, where it's a bit extreme, but if you finish over a certain time in the London Marathon, they change the course and you end up finishing in one of the parks. So do they maybe need to look at maybe even starting and finishing in Bruton Park? Maybe they want to. I know. To use Redditch as an example, I obviously listened to Marmcast and Andy. He said that he did the Redditch one that I did, and I didn't know this, but that was the first time they held it in Arrow Valley Park. So they've changed their course, and that's a run through. So do they maybe need to change the Solihull one? I don't know, but yeah, enough moaning. But sticking with events, Ben. Today, you popped in the group chat. You've signed up to an event, and it is part of the Cotswolds Trail events. It's the Broadway Marathon and Half Marathon on the 16th of November. Unless I've read it wrong, you're doing the marathon, aren't you?
Yeah. I kind of teased it a couple of weeks ago, I think it was, and I was a bit unsure on which one I wanted to go for. Let's just do it. Do you know what I mean? Go big or go home, they say.
So not only is it trail, it's a marathon as well.
Yeah, trail marathon. Had to be, didn't it? Do you know what I mean? I think it's you can do it with me if you want. You know what I mean? Well, you could do the half.
Trails just.
I feel like you've had just a bad experience with it. I think.
Yeah, bloody well have.
That you can't even class that as trial, really. I saw some of the course. I mean, it's trail, but there's a difference. Do you know what I mean? It just through like a farmyard or something like that. You've got it. Yeah, okay, it is trail, but there's, you know what I mean. There's good trail. Got that good stuff, Mike.
So. Where in the world is that? I always get confused with this. Cotswolds, is that like Oxford way?
I don't know off the top of my head. I don't want to get it wrong and look stupid.
No,
Worcester?
Well.
Worcester, maybe?
Maybe. That rings more of a bell.
I may have got that totally wrong, but off the top of my head, possibly that way. Looking forward to it, man. Just obviously started training for it, so I just need to get some hill training in. So
I was going to say, You know, when you're training, I mean, granted, this is the first this is the first trail marathon you're doing. So how will you sort of combat it with your training? What sort of things you're going to do? Because you live in Solihull. I know we've just talked about how bloody hilly it is, but surely you need to try and experience different terrain. Like what's your training going to have in store for you?
Well, luckily, I have a fiance who is very supportive and will drive me here, there, and everywhere. So she's brilliant for that. Kind of with 6 weeks to go of the 100K, we did put a plan in place, and each weekend was going to go to a different place, whether it be, I think, obviously, I went to Kimber Edge. I only ended up doing that one of the 6 that I'd planned. I think the Clent Hill was another one. Basically, just trying to find trails and hills within a certain radius that was, was possible to travel to, and make get a good few hours out of it. So I think it would probably be this similar sort of thing, trying to find similar terrain and trying to put myself in similar situations to what I'll be in. I think that's all you can do. And obviously, I know now after doing that 100K what I need to do in terms of training. I need to just double everything of what I did. And as I said last week, not doing the streak now, I can focus more on longer runs and more the quality of runs over just like, I've got to get another day in and whatever. And doing like, even some days doing 3 or 4K runs, it was doing nothing for me really. But as I said to you earlier, you've got to do these things to sort of use it as hindsight and learn from it. So yeah, I think I'll probably do this and then find out I need to do something else. Do you know what I mean? I that's the beauty of it. But yeah, I think that's kind of could probably be the plan. Probably go through them 6 hills that I was going to do and try and just really put in the work for it.
It's the Licky Hills on there because that's not too far.
Yeah, it was on there. Yeah, that was on the list. I wish I had the list off the top of my head, but
I could do bloody Cofton Park run, mate. By the sounds of what we've heard tonight.
Yeah. But yeah, I think in terms of trying, just putting yourself in similar situations to what you're going to be in. I say, hills don't scare me now. This is it. You know what I mean? It's when you've done what you've done, it's like, even like Solihull, I was saying to Chris as we was walking, I was like, I look at that and it's horrible, gradual inclines, but I don't look at it and go, oh God, do you know what I mean? It's just like, okay, we can get up there. So
fair place, yeah. Well, sticking with you, what's going on in the world of running?
I have 3 stories for you tonight.
Hit me, baby.
One more time.
Right, so we've got London Half Marathon medal is been designed with refugees. Refugee runners have helped design a medal for the finishers of next month's Big Half in central London. The Cooper Refugee Run Club, which I didn't realise they were a refugee club.
I've seen a few of their runners around.
Yeah, I remember I first seen one at Bruton when we done that park run. There was a lad at the front wearing their t-shirt. I wasn't unaware about this, but the club helps migrants settle into life in the UK through local running groups. Helped to create a medal and a long sleeve t-shirt for the 13.1 mile race on 7th of September. The design features Tower Bridge and Cutty Sark, the race start and end points, and interlocking rings to represent the diverse journeys of the runners. Sanar Qureshi, Senior Community Engagement Manager at London Marathon Events, which organises the half marathon, said community and inclusivity is at the heart of the Big Heart. I wish I could show you a picture of it, but I can't. But
is it the London Landmarks half marathon?
No, not that one. It's just literally called the Big Half. It's funny because who was I talking to about that the other day? I can't remember who it was. Someone was talking to me about doing. It might have been Chris actually about doing the run through London and stuff. And I said the landmarks because he's really into his landmarks and stuff. I was like, do that one. Yeah, there we go. That's it. If you can see. Cheers, Mike. Quite a nice medal actually.
Focus is in or what? It's a new webcam, but yeah, it looks nice. To be honest, when you said that it was refugee design, I thought you meant it was going to be like a couple of blokes on a rubber dinghy were going to be on the medal. But no, that's a very, very nice medal actually. As far as medals go, if I had that one, that'd be maybe even top 3. You know, just having a look at last year's, it's better than last year's one.
Yeah, much better. Better. Yeah,
good story. I like that.
To see them medals, make sure you watch on YouTube or search them. That story is on BBC News. The second one is a 9-year-old marathoner, Nicholas Tuchek, from West Chester, Pennsylvania, has already established himself as a record-breaking runner. He's done 100 races in his racing career. He told Fox 29 Stephanie Esposito. But the 4th grade runner isn't running just for fun. He says he's running towards a goal of taking 1 million steps and raising £1 million for his grandfather's charity. He says, I'm running a marathon on each of the 7 continents supporting Operation Warm, which is a non-profit organisation that provides new coats for kids who can't afford them. Hang on 1 second.
That's incredible. He's 9 years old.
Sorry, I'm just having trouble with my computer. He's 9 years old. He estimates it will take 1 million steps to run 7 marathons. And his first full marathon took place in Delaware. And he plans to run his second marathon in Antarctica. Tuchek's parents say they keep a close eye on their son's health. His parents say he's seen paediatricians and paediatric cardiologists and undergone EKG and several other tests to ensure that he's okay to do so much running. So incredible. I wish I'd have got into running at an earlier age. I really do.
That's incredible. 9 years old.
Obviously, like the junior park runs and stuff coming out. And well, I say it all the time. If you'd have told me, back in school that I'd be running now and paying for it, I would have literally thought you were mad.
Yeah.
But there you go. Last one. We've got a runner with a cardio mask causes post office shutdown. Word to the wise, maybe it's not the smartest thing to jog in what looks like a gas mask and body armor, and then jam a package in a post office box. It could touch off what happened on Tuesday, obviously it's a few weeks ago, whatever, at the busy San Jose post office. A full-scale police response, complete with the bomb squad and a robot, was on scene. San Jose police said the suspicious-looking jogger seen fidgeting with a package at the drop-off box was only working out in a hardcore, albeit odd-looking exercise gear. The guy was said to be wearing a cardio mask, said Sergeant Jason Dwyer. It was his cardio day, and he was trying to lose weight. That's not what the post office customer thought when a man in a weird mask and vest stuffing a package in a blue mailbox at around 12:30. The customer called the police, and in a flash, the post office was on lockdown until 4:30, with 150 employees and customers tucked away in the back. The San Jose Police Bomb Squad, the fire department, hazardous materials unit, and the postal inspector descended on normally quiet strip of North San Jose. A robot detonated the package, which turned out, police said, to be a bunch of calendars. So the guy...
Did he get sent down? Did he get 12 months?
No. So long... You have to bear with his name. Long Huang, who lives...
He did what?
who lives near Long Huang, who lives near the post office and is a student at Cal State East Bay in Hayward, had his friends messaging him saying, "Is this you? Is this you?"
Where are my calendars?
Wow, he became a avid follower of the CrossFit exercise regime, which he said exuberantly combines the really creative combination of weightlifting, gymnastics, and rowing. He wears the mask to simulate high altitude training. Huang, who is 5'4", said he's lost at least 20 pounds and is now 142 pounds. That doesn't matter. Anyway, he tells the story how he mistakenly received a package of calendars at his home and he thought that he'd mail them back to the proper recipient while on his exercise run. The package didn't fit first time in the mailbox, he said, so he had to fold it up and try a second time. Obviously, he was unaware that his actions was causing a commotion. And there you go. He didn't go down or anything. It was just obviously all a misunderstanding. But he said he won't be jogging to the post office anytime soon. So there you go. That is your news story.
That could have been me from that run from Screwfix. Lincoln could have got locked down. That could have. Mr. Quonk or whatever, if you're listening, I feel you on that one, brother. It's
Long Wong.
Long Wonk.
No. Huang.
Quonk.
Huang.
Quong. Yeah.
No, Huang.
Yeah, right.
He's having me up there. Long Huang.
Long Huang.
Long Huang.
Huang.
There you go. Long Huang.
Yeah, that's what I was saying.
New podcast coming out soon.
The Long Huang podcast. I'm just the funniest bit about that is there's some poor bloke waiting for these calendars to come back, and they detonated them.
Yeah, that's wild. Oh man, yeah, crazy. There you go.
Yeah, crazy. Well, thank you for that, Ben. I'm going to read through the week 2 of the Strava Run Club. We have had week 2 come and gone. So I will read out the standings. If you follow us on social media, you would have seen this already, but I like to shout everyone out anyway. I said last week we will only do the top 12, but for some weird reason, Jake was able to see 14 this week, although I was only able to see the top 10. So I thought, let's be fair and include everyone. So the top 14. First place was Waze Malavian with 65.87 kilometres he ran last week. That's incredible. Second was Mark Graham with 41.17. Third was Ben Stevens, 38.27. Fourth was Mike Smart with 36.36. Very nice rounded number, that. Fifth was myself with 31 kilometres bang on the nose. Sixth was Beth Carlos with 27.05. 7, Robert Clark, 24.95. 8, Ames T with 24.25. 9th, Ben Blakeman, 21.12. 10th, Cameron Smart, bang on 20. 11th, Andrew Barons, 18.95. 12th, Jake Ramsey, 10.73. 13th, Chris Pritchard, 10.54. And 14th, Farmi Bulali with 10.02 kilometres. So that was week 2 of Strava Run Club. Don't forget, if you don't already, make sure you join the Strava Run Club. Just hop over to Strava. I think it's pinned on TikTok and Instagram, but just head over and at the bottom you'll see it says groups at the bottom. Click that, and then on clubs, just type in Chasing the Finish Run Club. There's 24 of us at the moment. As of tonight, the 12th of August, it's 9:10. The current standings are Waze Malovian is currently top with 14.76, unstoppable at the moment. Second is Ames with 14.03. Third is Mike Smart, 13.03. Fourth, Robert Clark, 11.27. Fifth, Andrew Barons, 10.49. Sixth, Mark Graham, 8.06. Just ahead of you, Ben, in seventh on 8.01. And then eighth is Cam Smart. He loves his rounded numbers. Bang on 7 kilometres. So 86 kilometres at the moment, and we're on Tuesday. So let's hit triple digits, shall we, by Saturday?
Need to put it on.
But yeah, you're planning to get out this week, Jake?
I wanted to do tonight,
but it's pitch black behind you now.
I'll get my torch out. Get my...
Bloody hell, yeah. See
I think I'm going to try and get out Thursday, maybe Friday. I'm going to do one Saturday, I think, before the Villa. So I'm going to get up, and I won't do a park run, but I'll just get up a bit earlier and do like maybe a 5K, maybe 6, 7. See how I get on.
Brilliant.
Out, hold up. Yeah, I'm trying to get out and get a few miles in the tank.
Yeah, so I've already mentioned it. This Saturday, myself and Ben and Tom will be at the Coventry Park Run, which is at the War Memorial Park. So if you are about and you're in the area, please do join us. You'll be able to spot us this time because we'll be in our Chasing the Finish podcast t-shirt. And yeah, come over and say hello, and we'll grab a quick interview with you afterwards. Watford have just scored, so it's 2-1. So I'm happy. The comeback is on. But yes, so we'll be there. I've got an event on the 24th. I'm mentioning that now because everything's a bit all over the place. Jake's away, then Ben's away, then I'm moving house, then I'm away. So yeah, we are going to get regular content out though. So I am doing the Wembley 10K on 24th of this month with my brother Cam. So we have an episode for you next Thursday, the 21st, which we recorded tonight as well. That's with Kevin from the South Birmingham Striders Running Club, because there is potentially going to be a new park run added to the list of park runs already in Birmingham. They're hoping it's going to be at Cofton Park over in Rednall. The closest one to it at the moment is Woodgate Valley. So it'll be good to get another park run on the map in Birmingham. So you can hear about all that in next week's episode on the 21st. So I'm hoping that after then, when Jake's away, when Ben's away, myself and Cam can maybe do a bit of an episode, talk about the Wembley 10K and a few other bits as well. So you guys, even though we won't physically be here, won't be without content, because we like to look after you guys. So yes, I think it's best that we finish on. We obviously had the Strava segment showdown, but Jake is playing the Quizmaster this time, and it's going to be me versus Ben. I've already bottled a 2-0 lead against Jake and lost 3-2. I'm hoping that's not going to be the case this time. So Jake, the floor is yours if you want to explain your game, and then we'll get straight into it, mate.
Well done. So it is a marathon all made up. So all I need from you, Per, I'll give you the name of the course or the name of the event. And all I need is, do you think it's real or do you think it's made up? We'll do 5 each week or whenever we come back to it. And then we'll go from there. See how you get on.
Yeah, man.
Starting off with the red dress run. We'll go with you first, Mike. Do you think it's real or made up?
The red dress run. I think it'd be pretty hard to run in a dress. So this is where I went wrong last time. It was too logical last time. I'm going to say no.
Ben?
I'll go yes then.
So the red dress run is a real event. It's an annual run in New Orleans where all genders wear red dress to raise money and maybe some eyebrows.
I'm going to win this because I'm just going to go opposite to what he.
Well, we need a penalty in place for us saying the same thing.
The only other thing is if you do say the same thing and it's a draw, I could ask the distance. I'll find a distance and then you give me what the distance you think it is, because not all of them are obviously marathons or ultras. So
Oh, 1-0 down already. Come on.
It's like what?
The next Dinging Nettle half. Ben?
Stinging little hot. Nah. Seems a bit specific. No.
Look.
I think it is. He's not going to be that easy, is he? He's not going to go yes, no, yes, no. So I think it is.
So it's currently 2-0 Norwich.
Get in the bin, man. What is going on? Oh, okay.
Start from you, Duff.
Do you want to stop now, Mike?
No, mate. I lost 3-2. You're 2-0 up at the moment, so it's my turn. Watford have just scored to make it 2-1. I'm going to make it 2-1. Watford are going to come back tonight. I'm going to come back tonight. So hit me with the 3. Let's go.
The next one is the Marshmallow Mile. Real or fake?
Ben?
No.
Now we'll go you first, Mike.
Oh,
still my answer.
I think that is real. I could absolutely see the Marshmallow Mile being real.
Ben?
No.
3-0. It can't be a 5-0 here. No way.
How is that not real? They do beer miles, so you're telling me they couldn't incorporate a Marshmallow Mile?
I'm sorry to break it to you, but that one's.
Well, I've lost, then, because there's 2 more left. But let's play for pride.
Good idea, man.
I think we need to think of some new rules for this.
Right then, you could just say the same, and then I'll find out the distance, and we'll go closest. Ben could play devil's advocate here and just go the same as you now, couldn't he? I know it's Ben. Right then, the next one is the wine glass marathon. Ben?
Yeah.
Mike?
No, the wine glass. No one's running with glass.
That one is real. In New York State, very popular. Not a wine tasting event, unfortunately, but it is a real event.
Have any of them been fake yet?
Yeah, the marshmallows.
The last one.
And the Stingel. And the final one, can he make it 5-0? The Great Gorilla Run. Ben? Was it Ben I came to first? No, Mike.
There's no way. I'm saying no.
Ben?
Yeah, nah. Surely not.
Bloody hell. It's real. There you go. It's a charity run in London where everyone runs in a full gorilla costume. Now,
I thought you were going to say runs like a gorilla.
As it's a tiebreaker, and I know it's 4-1. 4-0, sorry. What do you reckon is the kilometres? We'll go with you first, Ben, because you answered first. What do you reckon closest wins?
5K.
Mike?
I think it's a 10K.
It's 7K.
Oh, yes. Seems celebrate.
Oh, man. What is going on? I was thinking 7 as well, but I'm not.
Just so Mike just celebrated early there for anyone who's not watching.
Jesus.
I was thinking 7K as well.
I did have a. Let me try and. I think it's an old run. I don't think they do it as much. But this was in 2018.
Can we just
swiftly on? I do like that game. Maybe
I want to make sure you clip that of Mike celebrated.
Yeah. So I'll make a note, and so after that, that's 5-0. Ooh, the 1-0, Ben. On to the next one. I have faith in you, Mike. Back with a bang. You'll be back.
Yeah. You and you only. I don't have faith in there. I'll just stick to hosting. Well, let's finish on the Miles That Matter segment. I'm quite glad that I found this, because when I was at on Sunday, we were obviously at the back, and I was chatting with Beth and whatnot. And this girl that was stood by us overheard us talking about a few bits, and she was like, "Oh, did you say the cut-off's 3.5?" And we got chatting, and she said, "Oh, this is my first one. I'm running the London Marathon next year." She's got a charity place for in mind, and I was like, like I really should ask her for the details, but now's not the time because we're literally about to start. And I thought I should maybe mention it as an off the cuff thing on the pod. And then I put I've got a running account for Instagram, obviously, and TikTok, and I put a few videos and pictures of Sunday, and lo and behold, the power of social media, that same girl found the post and commented saying, "Oh, I met you at the start, well done and whatnot." So she followed me on TikTok. So I went onto her profile to follow her back, and there it was, lo and behold, was a link. And I have the link to her charity run for the London Marathon. So the reason that she's chose Mind. So she's said, "I'm running the London Marathon 2026 for Team Minds because mental health matters." Really hope she doesn't mind me reading this out, but I suppose it is on a story. So said at 17, I spent around 7 months between 2 different hospitals. This was an incredibly hard time for myself and family alike, and has played a huge part in who I am today. Since then, mental health has become something I care very deeply about for myself and also those around me. Mental health and illness has become less stigmatized over the years. However, there's still an extremely long way to go. Even writing this, I feel as though I should not be openly admitting that I was hospitalized. However, without honesty, real change cannot be made. This is why I've decided to run the London Marathon for Team Mind. So basically, Mind provides free and confidential support and advice via phone and online. They do work in schools and workplaces, encouraging staying mentally healthy day to day. And they have local services across England and Wales, including talking therapies, peer support, and crisis care. So yes, her name's Poppy. She's aiming to raise £2,500 for Mind charity, and at the moment she's on £261. So I'll pop the link in the description. So if you can spare a couple of quid, then I'm sure it will go to a very, very good cause, and I'm sure they will be, over the moon to receive that. So, yeah, I think that about rounds up episode 10. But before I do that, and I keep forgetting this every bloody week, Ben, what song have you got for me to pop in the playlist?
I've just sent it through now. It is Big City Life by Lude and Matafix.
Big City Life, it is. I like that a lot. I am also choosing a song. It wouldn't surprise you that I don't have one ready. However, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with, where is it now? I'm going to steal one of Jake's because we played GTA online and this song was playing and we only found it on YouTube, and I was gutted because I'd like, why isn't this on Spotify? And I think we were literally just about to record last week, and Jake, you found the song, and it is exactly the same. It's not a cover, it's exactly the same. So my song is Getting Money by Vive. So there we go. 2. If you're watching this on YouTube, even if you're watching on Spotify or listening on Spotify, you can now leave a comment on Spotify as well. So please do. If you would like a song added to the CTF running playlist, please do pop it in the comments. But other than that, give the video a like. Make sure you hit that subscribe button. Let's say we're close now to 30 subscribers. I think we're on 26. So it'd be great to hit 30. So let's get there. Make sure you follow us on all socials, Facebook, TikTok, and Instagram. And yeah, we'll see you next week. But till then, keep chasing that finish.
See you
Good
later.
evening. Bye.